2 of why I went from being a Christian to a green witch, what my spirituality now consists of. Obviously, the jump from Christianity to witchcraft is a pretty big one. I will say that witchcraft is obviously still heavily demonized, especially in Christianity. In Christianity, we see the outsourcing of power to a male god. But within witchcraft, that is often practiced by women or femmes, there's a taking back of power for the individual. One of the other really big differences is that witchcraft is not a religion, so it can be much more fluid and open to interpretation. You can work with other deities or spirits if you choose to, and if you choose not to, that's also okay. After experiencing a lot of religious trauma that really appealed to me, I really liked the ability to possibly not even work with any deity at all. If I ever did want to, I would be in control of who I chose. I did end up choosing one over time. I do work with Xochiquetzal. She's the Aztec goddess of love, beauty, fertility, and the arts. I was really happy to come across a deity that I was comfortable working with. It was still really scary to engage in witchcraft at first because of my very heavy Christian background. Especially getting to take my time, ease into whatever practices I did want to partake in was really helpful. I didn't have to rush. I didn't have to do anything that I didn't want to do or that I wasn't comfortable with. I had lots of time to do my research. The very first ritual that I did was actually pretty simple. It was all about self-love. I went to the river. I had the intent of doing this ritual. So along the way, as I was getting closer to the riverbed, I picked wildflowers, brought my journal. I found some driftwood, so I ended up putting the driftwood and the flowers together. I wrote a love letter to myself and also asked Xochiquetzal to work with me. And I released the flowers and letter with the driftwood into the river. It's really simple. Really, witchcraft, especially green witchcraft, if you are really into nature and you feel grounded going out into nature, which I would say most people do. The beauty of witchcraft and spirituality is that it is fluid. You get to decide what you want to do. I had decided that I wanted to work on self-love, my relationships with other people. I was still somewhat new to my activism journey. Also working in human services, and I was really looking for a very strong framework of ethics. I personally take ethics very seriously. I think because of my autism, I think it's just one of my hyperfixations as well. Part of my ethics when introducing myself to different forms of witchcraft was to make sure that I understood what were part of closed practices. Additionally, within my divination, I began to feel like there are certain things that maybe I shouldn't be asking. Just because I can ask tarot certain things maybe doesn't mean that I should be. I want to talk a little more about tarot and honestly the psychology behind tarot and witchcraft. I'm very hesitant to say that I'm absolutely right when it comes to anything relating to spirituality because obviously I found myself in a cult. So I know that I am definitely not always right, sometimes extremely far from being right. So I won't claim that I know everything or that I can prove that my spiritual beliefs are 100% real. The way that I would describe tarot, psychologically at least, is very much talking to your own psyche. If there's something that I'm curious about, obviously I'm wanting to engage with this idea. When I draw cards, something won't resonate if I don't feel like there's some truth to them subconsciously. When I ask questions, it's like I get to explore my own psyche in a way. I get to explore my feelings, my much deeper inner thoughts that are hidden somewhere way under there, because I wouldn't be feeling like the cards are true or accurate if there wasn't already something in me that feels that way. Just for that reason alone, it's very grounding for me. I can engage in a lot of self-exploration and other things like collecting moon water or just even being in sync with the cycles of the moon. It's just so much fun. I feel like I'm just a girl paying attention to the moon. It's so nice. Once I started to decide what types of things I wanted to do, label them as witchcraft because that's what it is. You're allowed to do that. I started to realize witchcraft is not this very serious evil thing the way that we've always been told or made to think it is. It can be serious. There are people who do work with very powerful spirits or deities. I personally stay away from certain things, but I won't sit here and judge someone else who does work with certain things. I personally don't do baneful magic, but again, I'm not going to judge someone who does. I have my personal ethics. They work for me personally. It's not something that I can just shove onto other people the way that I did when I was a Christian. It's also allowed me to feel closer to my culture as well. I also call on my ancestors when doing things like rituals or divination. That's been really healing. I never met my grandmother, so I do call on her a lot when doing divination. Overall, I would say it's just been very healing to be able to have a choice. I don't have any man telling me what I have to believe or who I have to work with or what rituals I have to perform or what I can and can't do. I just genuinely get to sit and listen to myself, figure out for myself what works and what doesn't. That has been extremely empowering, has really brought me back to feeling like I could be spiritual again, because it was really triggering for quite a few years. Now that I've found a system that really works for me, it's really taken that edge off. And I'm really happy to have found spirituality that I really enjoy.